Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Sin City TV. Come watch TV with me. Doc Season 2, Episode 14 is titled When You Know, You Know. Well, let me tell y'all something, okay? The way y'all have turned me every which way but loose with this episode, I know y'all stressing me out. Okay, that's what I know. Welcome back to another episode of Sin City TV. Get on here and come watch TV with me. This one, I'm unhappy. If you're new here, I am a Dr. Michael Hamda fan, okay? I love him. He is a very flawed character. He is nowhere near perfect. He has a lot of issues. He needs some therapy, okay? He need to go sit down and talk to that lady real bad. He really do. But I love him. This show is trying to tarnish my man's name. Okay, they're trying to make him into the villain that everybody thinks he is, and I'm upset about it. But we're gonna get into that later. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode, and we'll talk about Michael later, okay? TJ and Sonia, my babies. Now, if you're new here, I am not a Jake and Amy lover. I don't have any problems with them. I think they're really cute. They're a great couple. If they choose to be together, that's fine by me. I don't dislike them. I just always say, you don't pick the ships pick you. And unfortunately, Jake and Amy have not picked me. I don't swoon over them. They don't make my heart flutter. They don't give me the oosey-gooseys inside. TJ and Sonia do. TJ and Sonia do. And I've been saying their chemistry is so good to me. And even if they weren't going to take it there as a couple, I love them as just like best friends, partners, to be each other's person. And I'm excited that they're taking that step and that it was like a very adult mutual decision. There was no games being played. There were no questions. It was just straight up like, we doing this. And I love that. And my concern is, though, I don't want the show to make their situation messy. Because this is a messy show. Let's be honest. All the relationships in the show are messy. Okay? And I don't want that for TJ and Sonia. I want them to have a nice adult, complicated, of course, because relationships are not easy. I want them to have an adult relationship. And I want them to really, I want it to be a real thing because I think they're so cute and I think their chemistry is adorable. And I love them. I know a lot of people don't like Sonia. I'm really on the side of Doc. I love all the unlikable people. And then everything everybody else loves, I could care less about. Like Jamie and Nate. Jake and Amy. And Sonia is my boo. And I stand Michael Hamda. I don't care. I can help what I like, okay? Can we talk about Katie for a little bit? I feel for Katie because sometimes I think a lot of the times the fandom might forget that she was a child when all this was going on. And a lot of the way that she's dealt with her parents and their divorce and the loss of her brother has been in a very childlike way. And she was left to kind of grieve by herself. So her thought process is childish, in my personal opinion, even though she's 18. Like, I see a lot of people say, oh, she's 18. She shouldn't be acting like this. She's 18. She's not a kid. But she is a kid. She hasn't had the opportunity to develop a mature way of handling her emotions because look who her parents are. Michael is emotionally unintelligent in the worst way. And Amy checked out during her formative years. Those are very like between 12 and 16 are very formative years for a young girl. And those are the times you need your mama to help you navigate female emotions and all of the things. Katie didn't have that. So her way of thinking and her way of processing her emotions, in my opinion, are still very childlike. And I feel like she was let down by both of her parents. Even though Michael stepped up when Amy couldn't. And I do give him a hand clap for that, even though he's a dad, he's supposed to. But he did it in a way where he put himself last. He did. Michael did not deal with his grief. That's another thing that I'm going to talk about later. But back to Katie. Katie didn't have her parents to help her through her grief and through her emotions and through life during her formative ages. So I feel like that has a lot to do with why Katie is the way that she is. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. And her meddling in her parents' business, she need to be checked for that. Because the way I grew up, you stay in the child's place. Hello? Y'all, I absolutely loved that we got more Julie in this episode. We got to get to know her a little more. We got to really get to see her personality, her love life, her family life. And I love that because this is an ensemble show. And honestly, truly, I'm getting sick of the Amy Michael Jake of it all. I am. I'm getting sick of it. Let's start introducing some more characters. Let's start getting into some more story. Let's start delving into some more complicated storylines because I'm sick of them, honestly. I'm ready for it to wrap up, especially now that they're trying to make Michael the big bad wolf. If he gonna be that, let him be that. Let's wrap it up. Okay? But a Julie storyline really tugged at my heart. I loved it so much because her man, he stood by her side even when she was trying to push him away out of fear. He was like, no, I'll be right here with you, baby. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, I know that's right, cowboy. Love that for Julie. I really do. And I like Julie. I like her a lot. The medical case in this week's episode really, it kind of triggered me a little bit because one of my biggest fears, honestly, and it's why I don't have children. One of the reasons, not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons because I'm very paranoid. Why I don't have children is because I'm afraid. I always think the worst is going to happen to me. I don't really want to trigger anybody else, so I'm not going to really get into it. But I fear the worst is going to happen to me in every situation. I'm just a paranoid girly. So I feared that what happened to that girl in the episode would happen to me. I fear that. I just do. And yeah, it was very sad. And Amy is an absolute brilliant doctor. The way she pays attention to detail. She's a brilliant person because you have to be smart and aware of everything to have caught that his mother was older and that maybe she did IVF and maybe that was why his DNA wasn't matching. That's crazy. Kudos to Amy for that. Sorry, y'all. Kudos to Amy for that catch because that was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant on her end. And I'm glad that she was able to give that man some good news. Because, ooh, what a day. To lose your woman, find out your baby ain't yours, and then have to question if she cheated on you, and standing 10 toes down behind the fact that you know she didn't. My man. Now, when Amy told Jake that she saw Rachel in radiology and Jake didn't even know that she was there, I knew that she was not looking for Jake and that she was sick. I don't love that she's sick, but I love that they're going this direction with the story because this whole situation, and I've been saying since season 1, is so messy and so complicated, and that's why I don't understand why y'all give Dr. Michael Honda so much grief. But anyway, it's so messy and so complicated because Rachel is Jake's mother's child, and they still very much have to have a relationship. And Jake's a good man, so he's going to want to be there for her. And it is going to cause conflict in him and Amy's relationship. It is, because it's a hard thing, especially when you're sick. So if it does turn out that she is sick and that she's going to need the support and she's going to need him to be there for her, I think it's going to cause a very interesting dynamic for Jake and Amy. And it'll really test their relationship to see if it can handle it. Because it's a hard thing to co-parent and to have those two separate lives that you have to merge together. It takes a very mature, understanding adult participants to make it work. So I'm very interested to see how Jake and Amy are going to navigate this new normal for them. If, in fact, Rachel is sick, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see. And even though I'm not like a huge Jake or Amy stan or whatever, I like them together. So I'm interested to see, what's going to happen in that aspect of it all. It's a very good story. I love that. And especially because Rachel's significant other is not there for her in the way that she would want him to be, but Jake is going to be. Interesting. Now, let's get into the Michael Honda of it all. Let's do it. First of all, Michael gotta be a Virgo. Michael gotta be a Virgo man. And if he is, I'm gonna do research because I have to figure it out. Because if he is, it just goes to show why I like him. Because I'm a Virgo. And Virgo men are some of the most complicated men in all the land. They're terrible. But they are my counterparts. So I will ride for them always. So Michael Honda gotta be a Virgo. He has so many Virgo characteristics. And what made me think this was when he was talking to Amy about the hacker situation and pretty much made it seem like everything was all her fault. I was like, bro, it's all her fault? I can't. But Virgos typically always think that they're right. And they typically always, they can never really look at themselves and see what they've done wrong to contribute to a situation. I've had to learn how to do that. I'm so much better now in my adult age. But in like my teenage years and my formative years, baby, you couldn't tell me nothing. Okay? So I think Michael's a Virgo. But one of the things about Michael that one of the reasons why I think I sympathize with him is because in all this mess that has gone on, and I'm not even talking about him, who he is as a person. Let's put that out the window. Just any human being going through the things that Michael went through, losing his child, blaming himself, feeling like it was his fault, having a wife who also blamed you, having a daughter who you have to now bear the brunt of her care because your wife can't do it, having to deal with all of that and not having anyone to talk to, or not having anyone to help you carry that load, carrying it all by yourself is hard. Even though for a man like Michael, he uses that as a crutch. He uses that to be a terrible person. Or terrible partner, I'll say. Because I don't think he's a terrible person. I think he's a terrible partner. He uses that to play victim. He plays victim a lot. A lot. But again, I think that he had to do so much of this by himself. And it's affected him. Michael has every right to be salty, y'all. And I'm done with this. Oh, I'm Michael defense attorney. I'm not defending him. I'm simply trying to explain to y'all what I see when I look at Michael and why I don't hate him. These are just the reasons. This is my perspective. We all watch TV different. We all get different vibes from different characters. We all like different people. And the reasons why I don't hate him is because I feel like he's had to deal with so much and he hasn't had anybody to express it to. He hasn't had anybody to help him carry the load. He's had to carry it all by himself. And I feel like he has every right to be salty and to be angry about the situation. Y'all act like when y'all are in like a terrible situation or like everything's going wrong, even if you contributed to everything going wrong, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder. Michael has a chip on his shoulder. That's the way he handles his shit. I ain't mad at him for being mad. I ain't mad at him for taking his anger out on other people. That's what we do as human beings. Which is why I like Michael, because he's a flawed character and it's very realistic. Y'all be acting like y'all perfect people and that people handle conflict in perfect ways, and they do not. And Michael is one of them. Michael is one of them people who handle situations terribly. He handles them in the worst way. But that's what people do when they're in peril. That's what people do when they're angry. Like, I have bad days all the time. And I go home at night and I'm like, damn, I should not have cussed that lady out the way I did. I took my anger out on her. I projected. And I should not have done that. Michael be projecting like shit. Okay? But he's a human being. He's allowed to be upset. He's allowed to be salty. He's allowed to take his frustrations out on whoever he wants to. It don't make it right. No. But it don't make him a terrible person. Okay? That's just my personal opinion on the matter. Now, however, I said all that to say, I don't think Michael is a terrible human being. I think he's a terrible partner. I think if Michael had this emotional affair with Nora, okay, came home one night to a changed Amy, now she want to work it out. She's different. Michael say, oh, I'm going to get my family back. Got him some Gucci that night. He was like, oh, okay. Then tried to cut off his situationship with Nora. This is what I think happened. Tried to cut off his situationship with Nora. But Katie, being a meddling child, snitched on his ass. And now he's caught. Okay? Blows up his marriage. Now it's really over. Now it's really done. Ain't no coming back from it. If this is how it went. Okay? Boom. They separate. Life goes on. He get back with Nora. They get married. All of this. Amy loses her memory. Now, if all this time Michael has been ignoring the fact or not addressing the fact that one of the reasons his marriage failed was because he had an emotional affair and got caught. Especially if it was the last straw. If Amy was trying to work it out, but y'all didn't because you got caught, and you didn't, you let Amy believe all this time that it was mainly her, and that you didn't play the last part in it. To me, it's out of Michael's character. To me. And I could be wrong. I ain't write the shit, but I don't like it. And it's foul to me. It's foul to me, and that's not how Michael would operate. He wouldn't do that, in my personal opinion. Now, y'all can't come for my head, my personal opinion, because it's going to stay the same. No matter what, you're not going to change it. Even if it comes out that he is that person, I'm going to be really pissed. Because I don't feel like that's who he is at his core. But I could be wrong. But I don't like it. Because that's foul. That's so mean. That's so mean. Especially to do to somebody that you love or claims you love. Even if you had hope that she would never find out, Katie knew. You think Katie wasn't going to tell? Michael. And a lot of this shit to me don't make sense. If this is how the story went, why did Michael ask Joan to help him with Amy? Knowing the whole time he was having an emotional affair. It just doesn't make sense to me. And yes, we don't have the whole story. And I'm really hoping that it goes a different direction, because I just don't like this. I don't like this. And it's not because I like Michael, because I'm going to like him no matter what he do. He can go commit multiple, tomorrow, and I'm still going to be like, well, he had his reasons, okay? Because let's not forget, this is fiction, okay? It's fun. But still, I just don't think that he would do that. And it doesn't make sense to me for his character. I think it's dead ass wrong. And I hate it with a passion that burns. Okay? To me, it's him taking advantage of her memory loss. And a lot of the times, with things that have been said, it tracks. And I still personally feel like it's just fucked up. And that Michael would not do that. So at the same time, it doesn't make sense. It's a crazy storyline, and I don't like it. And it won't be the first time something has happened in the storyline of a television show I love that I hate it. I rewrite that shit in my brain, and I keep going about my day. Okay? So I keep seeing people say, the people I talk to on social media about Doc, it must be hard out here being a Michael Hamda fan right now. And it is. It is hard. But at the end of the day, this is fun. It's fiction. It's fake. None of these people are real. And I go on about my day after I get upset about it. So this was a crazy episode, okay? And I'm sorry this review was up late. I've been sick. I'm still sick, but I'm better. So I was able to come on here and talk to y'all and get this review out because people are asking for it, and I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate that y'all like to sit and listen to me talk about this damn show. It fills me up with joy because it's why I do it. I love talking about shows I love with other people that love it. And that's why I make these videos. So, yeah, tap into the comments. If you want to argue with me, let's do it, but respectfully, okay? I have no problem going toe-to-toe respectfully about a television show. I just don't do the real argument. If you're really going to get mad at me over some fictional characters, keep it pushing, okay? This is make-believe. But love y'all. Talk to you next week. Ooh, child. Ooh, let it be better.